Hey guys, it's Derek Karsher from T7, and I'm here to hopefully answer some questions to Lifeonaires in my business. I'm an insurance agent. We've been receiving some questions a lot about loss of rent and loss of use coverage amid this COVID-19 thing. So I figured that I'd jump in and explain a little bit, as there are a lot of landlords that are not charging rent or working or with their tenants in terms of their lease and that kind of stuff. So I wanted to talk a little bit about loss of rent and what I foresee insurance policies doing in regards to this. So a couple of things. Number one, I'm not referring specifically to your policy. I'm talking about things generally. Number two, I'm not telling you to not file a claim. If you feel like you need to file a claim, file a claim. And number three, I'm speaking to things as they are today, not necessarily about how they will be in the future. So with that said, let's jump into loss of use. So loss of use is part of the property portion of the policy. The idea is if there's damage to the property, then there could be non-physical losses that you sustain because you can't use that property, right? So let's look at a couple of examples. One, home burns to the ground, you had it rented out, and so because of that you're losing rent, and therefore the loss of rent would come in and pick up that income that you're losing because you're still going to have bills to pay, right? Another example is you've got a pipe that bursts, causes damage. You've got to replace drywall, maybe some mold remediation, get things dried out. Obviously, that's going to be loud. It's going to be not great for the tenants. And so what do? You say, look, I'm not going to charge you rent. Go stay in a hotel while we get this fixed. And so what happens is we come in, and because there's been damage to the property, we would come in and we would pay your loss of rent. Generally speaking, on an insurance policy, the way that it works is on a special form, and there are different types of policies. Like generally your flip forms are not on a special form, but on a rental property, there are four things that has to meet for loss of use to jump into play. It has to be physical damage that is direct, sudden, and accidental. So it is my opinion that insurance companies will not view COVID-19 as one, physical loss to the building. It's still there. There's no damage to it. Your tenants are not able to pay, but that's a different issue, right? And so it was not direct, sudden, or accidental, claim that caused this. So there have been some questions about, well, there is an element of civil authority. If the government doesn't allow me to use my property in its intended fashion, wouldn't that pay out? And the answer to that is, again, I don't think so. So the idea behind this one is very similar to the general loss of use portion of the policy. So there's a wildfire, there's damage to a home, maybe even a neighboring home. The authorities shut down or evacuate an area. You're unable to receive rent because of that. You would receive loss of use in that case, or loss of rent in that case, because fire is a covered peril, right? It would cause physical, direct, sudden, and accidental damage to your home, and death, obviously, to your tenant if they stayed in the house, sort of scenario. So again, I don't think we're going to see coverage for this. I know that as this goes on and landlords lose rent, that might be something that people look to. So I wanted to get out there and explain just a little bit about how I view loss of rent and how that will work. If you have any questions, reach out to me. Thank you so much, and have yourself a wonderful day. Stay safe.